Welcome back to Castle Sports Talk. It's been a while. My name is Mr. Junior. This is my boy. What's your name?
Zion.
Big Z over here in the building. You feel me? It's a rainy day here in Boston. Nighttime. We just left. Where we just leave, Z?
Why?
The Y?
Yeah.
What was we doing at the Y?
Playing ball.
Playing ball? Yeah, we was balling up. Damn, my forehead looks so big right now. Damn. That shit is crazy. Excuse my language. So it's March 5th. Free agency starts on Monday for the NFL. It's a very crazy time. I know I haven't been dropping too many videos. I've been busy with school, work, a lot of things going on in my personal life, just very, very busy. But I want to make sure to do a mock draft before free agency starts and do a mock draft after free agency. Hopefully, Zion could be in the next one, but we're here right now and we're going to focus on right now. So, Zion, you ready to start this mock draft?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Um, Anything you want to say to the people before we start?
No.
Nah, you good?
Yeah.
You just want to get straight to it?
Yeah. But the question is, like, what order are we going? Like, you odds or you evens?
Hmm.
Last time I was evens, so probably switch it up.
All right, so you do odds and I do evens.
Alright.
But Zion has been just getting caught up with all the things that have been going on with the combine, um, all the things that have been going on this offseason with releases and just general news in the NFL. So I'm probably gonna veto a lot for you and probably just chime in a lot for you compared to our last year's video, just because you're further back in the process this year than you were last year. But I'm sure you'll be caught up quick. You just got to catch up on some content, catch up on the news in the NFL, and I'm gonna veto you a lot and chime in a lot. All right, but I'm gonna try to let you do your thing as best as you can. All right,
Yeah.
you ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. I don't want this to be a long video. I got some homework to do. Zion got to go to sleep for school tomorrow, and yeah, so let's get it started. Let me just share my screen real quick, and let's go. So as you can see, we're using the Pro Football Network mock draft simulator, and one round. We're gonna do fast. Well, it doesn't really matter. We're doing all the picks. So into solo draft. So pick number one, Zion. What are you doing?
I'm going with a lot of people who are picking Cam Ward because I
Try to
honestly
speak up a little bit more.
I honestly think Cam Ward's better than Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders, he can run, but Cam Ward have like a better arm strength, better accuracy, in my opinion. And I think Tennessee really needs a quarterback, and they can grab a wide receiver for the next round because they're still really good wide receivers next round.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Shedeur Sanders is a good decision maker. With the clean pocket, I think he broke records for like quarterback completion rate with the clean pocket. So he's a good decision maker. But Cam Ward is just the overall better quarterback. He has better tools, like Zion said, and he's a great decision maker as well. He aced the interviews in the combine, so he has a lot going for him. For pick number two, we're just gonna move right along. We are gonna go, and you know what? We didn't even think about this, so we're just freestyling here. This is like our first mock draft we do together. I did some myself. Zion did some himself. Uh, and just a lot of news is coming out in the NFL, so this is like on the fly. For the Browns, I'm hearing a lot of news that they want a quarterback, but I'm not gonna draft like I'm the Browns. I'm gonna draft like I'm the GM of the Browns. And what I would do is easy. Abdul Carter, all the way. I think he's the best player in the draft, period. The dude's a beast. And if Myles Garrett leaves, Myles Garrett replacement. If Myles Garrett stays, the combination with Abdul Carter, Myles Garrett could bring him under his wing. I think that's just it just makes so much sense for the Browns. We've seen what Myles Garrett can do for that defense. He could lead a top 10 defense easily. And if they can replace him with Abdul Carter, having, a leader for a top 10 defense for the next 10 years is exactly what Myles Garrett did for them. And that's what you want to do. And hopefully you hit on wide receiver in round 2 or whatever you want to do, cornerback and or a quarterback, I should say, because they really want a quarterback. But we'll see what they could do at quarterback in free agency this year, and hopefully in the next year's draft they get a quarterback. All right, pick number 3, Zion. What are you doing?
This time I'm going Shedeur because is there a veto here? Is there a veto there?
No, I like that pick.
Because if they get Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers, I kind of understand like they have more experience, but they can get injured like really easily. And I think building on a new player who has better, like doesn't really get injured fast in their first year probably is like better than getting an old quarterback who didn't really have a good year.
I like that. It's just good to start young, right? It's good to start young with a quarterback that has so much potential instead of an old guy. And I think Malik Neighbors would love to play with Shedeur Sanders. I think he would love that. All right, pick number 4, the Patriots. And excuse me for my sister and her boyfriend being loud in the other room. They annoy me, but whatever. Pick number 4, the Patriots. I'm going to do a player that's been flying up people's boards. Armand Membu. He killed the combine. Slightly, I'm not going to say slightly, shorter arms than what you ideally want. But Will Campbell also has shorter arms than what you ideally want. And I think a tackle is the way to go. Protect Drake May, and you probably sign Chris Godwin or Christian Kirk in free agency. Instead of drafting McMillan, you draft an offensive tackle. So I like that. Pick number 5 for the Jaguars. What you got, Z?
I was thinking Mason Graham, but I remember that we still have him, and they do need a cornerback, I see. And this is basically a steal for the Jaguars, getting him this late.
It's a steal. They need a cornerback. They have a number 1 cornerback. After that, they have nothing. Travis Hunter could also be used, for some wide receiver packages. Since Christian Kirk is gone, they have no wide receiver depth at all behind Brian Thomas. So I think and he fell to the number 5 pick, probably the second best player in the draft. That's really good for the Jaguars. So I agree with that. Number 6 for the Raiders. I see a lot of different things. I've seen some people draft offensive tackle for them. I've seen people draft Mason Graham for them. I've seen someone draft tight end for them. I'm sorry, not tight end, running back for them. Ashton Genty, which surprised me. I've seen someone draft McMillan for them. I've seen someone do cornerback for them. I think the person that I'm going to do is I hope this guy falls, you know what I mean? So my favorite team, the Chargers, have an opportunity to trade up and get him. But I like this guy a lot, and I'm going to do Will Johnson out of Michigan. Get a good cornerback for them, and just improve that defense. Just improve that defense with a really, really solid player. The number 6 pick might be a little rich for them. Might be a little rich for Will Johnson. He might not be that good, but I just like the pick for the Raiders. I really do. In a division where you got Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, and Bo Nix, you probably want to stop those guys with a good cornerback. So you take that chance on a cornerback. Pick number 7 for the Jets. Mind you, they just released Devontae Adams. And any other news? No.
For me, I'm thinking either him, or him. But they still have Garrett Wilson and Allen Lazard. Maybe get another one second round.
Allen Lazard left.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh. So probably him, offensive tackle or defensive tackle.
You got to pick one. I think those are all good picks.
I'm probably going to go Will Campbell.
Very solid.
You have a veto?
You
have a veto?
No.
Will Campbell, I heard a lot of good news about him. I hear that like he's big enough to be a great offensive tackle. And I don't really know much about Will Campbell. I just picked him out of how much I like him.
He has
for Jets.
That's well said, because the Jets have been trying to fortify their offensive line for what feels like 5 years for now. They usually aren't really doing good at drafting them, but that shouldn't stop you, because offensive tackle is probably the second most important position in the NFL. If you keep missing, that shouldn't stop you from drafting another one. You know what I mean? Will Campbell has the best film in the draft for offensive tackle. He does have slightly short arms, but if he doesn't work out at tackle, you throw him at guard, and you got a really, really good guard. Moving on to the Panthers. This is an interesting pick. I think this is where the draft gets interesting. This is where it could get wild. This is where it could get crazy. And for the Panthers, if they get Mason Graham falling to them, that's a dream come true, because they had probably the worst defensive tackle play last year that I've probably ever seen. I forget their number one defensive tackle, but he got injured, and they had nobodies playing for them. And Mason Graham is like a dream come true for them out of Michigan. A lot of Michigan players. Shout out my boy Jim Harbaugh coaching these dudes up. All right, number 9, another interesting pick with the Saints.
Number 9.
Yep.
See Terry, because I see they need a wide receiver, and they literally barely have any other wide receiver other than Rashid Shaheed, which is a mid. And they basically
who else do they have? An Ohio State receiver, Chris
Godwin. No.
Chris Olave.
Yeah,
Chris Olave, who got injured last year, so you probably forget about him. So I'm going to veto you and not go McMillan. And I'm going to say they go edge. They go edge here. They go edge here to replace I'm blanking on names. Their edge's name, Cameron Jordan, who is now 35 years old. And they needed a replacement, so I would go Shamar Stewart, the athletic freak, or Mikael Williams, who probably has a little better film than Stewart, but not as big as a freak as Stewart. And then you got Jalen Walker, a really feisty linebacker out of Georgia, who could also, who's probably shaping out who's going to project as an edge in the NFL. So they go edge. Who do you got?
He said, which one's like more built different?
Shamar Stewart is the athletic freak. Mikael Williams probably has the best film, and Jalen Walker is a very feisty guy who could be high on people's boards.
I think Shamar.
Shamar Stewart is flying up people's boards. Reminds me of the guy the Jaguars drafted at number 1 over the edge, Aiden Hutchinson. I'm blanking on names today. The edge from the Jaguars, he flew up people's boards and was drafted at number 1 because of how athletically gifted and his measurements were. So freaks at edge really get drafted really highly. All right, so number 10 for the Chicago Bears. They just traded for Joe Thuney. They just traded for Jonah Jenkins. I'm blanking on names today. But let's go with Jonah Jenkins, offensive tackle. So it looks like they got the line they wanted, so they don't have to use the first round pick on a tackle like Kelvin Banks, since Will Campbell and Membu's probably going to be gone, or Booker. So I think they go best player available. I think Warren or McMillan is the best player available, but they don't really need a wide receiver, and they don't really need a tight end because they got Cole Kmet. Damn, Z. This is where it gets tough.
There's Malachi Starks. They need a safety.
They need a safety and they need an edge. I love Malachi Starks. I love him. He might fall, but I love his play. I love that guy.
I would love if he falls to the Vikings, because
Vikings. If he falls to the Vikings, that's lovely for them. They might have to trade up for him. I don't think he's falling until 24 is the Vikings? No,
They're like 25, 24.
25. I'm gonna go Mikael Williams just because they really need a draft. They really need an edge. I'm off my game tonight, guys. Sorry, I'm tripping over words, forgetting names. But Mikael Williams, I think, is a really solid pick for the Bears. 11 for the 49ers.
There's still linebacker Jalen Walker. They need a linebacker. They traded Deebo Samuel to Washington, but they still have Ricky Pearsall and Brandon Ayuk. I could go Jalen Walker. I don't see no. But they also do need an offensive tackle with Kelvin Banks. I think they'll go with their offensive line to save Brock Purdy from those sacks.
I agree with you. I love how you said that, Z. Make sure you come in a little bit more. I don't know if the camera can see you. I love how you said that, Z, because they traded away Deebo Samuel, what you doing, dog? Tyler Booker for the Cowboys? I'm taking your pick for the Dolphins.
Yes, take it.
Come on,
I didn't even need to do that. I thought I didn't press Kelvin Banks.
It's all right. So the 49ers lost Deebo Samuel, which is a loss for Brock Purdy. So they need to give Brock Purdy another weapon. You could tell I'm a Chargers fan because I call offensive tackles weapons, famously said by Jim Harbaugh. And they go offensive tackle to support Purdy. If I was the Cowboys, I would have drafted Genty.
Yeah, same.
I would have drafted Genty. They go offensive guard.
Do that.
It's fine. Maybe they do go guard. Who knows?
If they go guard, they're stupid.
I wouldn't say stupid. It's always good to beef up your offensive line. And that's what the Cowboys, when they were at their best, that was their identity. Having the best offensive line in the league. That was their identity. And you know what's interesting? You know who they hired as their offensive coordinator? An offensive line coach. They didn't draft they didn't sign a wide receivers coach, a quarterback coach, a running back coach for their offensive coordinator. They did an offensive line coach. So you never know. They might go offensive line in the first round. Definitely, I think they'll go offensive line top 3 rounds. All right, moving on. I'm taking your pick for the Dolphins.
Take 14 too.
Dolphins need a lot. They would have loved Tyler Booker. They need a lot, to be honest.
Defensive tackle, offensive tackle, safety, and linebacker. Jalen Walker's still there.
They're losing Javon Holland. They're going to lose Tyreek Hill soon. I'm going to shake things up, man. I'm going to shake things up. I've never seen anybody do this. McMillan to the damn Dolphins. Tyreek Hill is gone next year. He ain't staying. He wanted to leave last year, but he doesn't want to be seen as like a diva. So he's like, fine, I'm signed to the Dolphins. I'm not requesting no trade. Jalen Waddle is not really the biggest guy. He's, I think, probably 6 feet.
Take this picture.
180 pounds. Definitely, I am. And McMillan is just something they don't have. Hey, I haven't seen that pick, and I like it.
Do we do trades or no trades?
No trades. All right, Colts, I'm going to do something that everyone does. Dolphins, I did something nobody does. Colts, I'm going to do something everyone does, which is Tyler Warren. I'm not going to waste time talking about it. See everybody else talking about it. All right, Falcons, I'm just going to say it needs to be edge, Zion. It needs to be edge.
The Nick Scorton. But he's way down there. We're still at 15.
You have James Pierce.
Where? Oh, I see him.
Or Jalen Walker.
I go James Pierce.
James Pierce is listed as an edge here with Jalen Walker as a linebacker. Jalen Walker will definitely be an edge, but James Pierce is the more traditional edge. I don't know too much about either player, but I know the Falcons, and they're going to go edge. 16 at the Cardinals, I think this is a very interesting pick. I even seen someone go McMillan for the Cardinals, which is very interesting. But they could go a lot of different places here. I think they're a team that's on the rise because I do like Kyler Murray. Marvin Harrison is good. I think they beef up that defensive line, and I think they go Derek Harmon. I think they've been lacking on the defensive line, on their front seven as a whole. They tried some things in free agency to sign a bunch of players. It hasn't worked. So I think they draft their guy, Derek Harmon, in the first round. 17 Bengals. What do you got, Z?
Need a defense. Defense sucks for the Bengals.
That's right.
So
You go anywhere on defense, to be honest.
I think I'll go like defensive tackle or somewhere like cornerback.
I like Jahdae Barron at cornerback, very good. And this draft class is loaded with defensive tackle. So if you scroll a little bit down, you could reach for a couple of defensive tackles, or you could do edge for Nick's.
Wait, I want to see something for Jahdae and Siobhan.
Jahdae Barron.
194, 5'10", Jahdae Barron. 6'1", not 194. What was his? 5'10"?
His RAS is 9, which is 9 out of 10, which is really good.
What's the RAS?
It's like your athleticism score.
He didn't do it.
He didn't do the combine, no. You go Barron, or you could go defensive tackle, yeah, or
There's
edge.
Tyreek. There's Nick Scorton. I think I'll go Barron.
You can honestly, you could do that. Also go Malachi Starks because they moved Daxton Hill to the cornerback slot, so they are kind of lacking at safety too.
Malachi Starks. I don't know. I do want, but if I was dumb, I would go Malachi Starks or Jahdae.
Don't forget Jalen Walker. He's fallen. Jalen Walker's fallen.
Where's Jahdae? I want to pick him.
Jahdae Barron. Love that pick for the Bengals. Love that pick. Anyone on defense, get their guy.
They suck on defense, bro.
Terrible on defense. Did you see at the ESPYs, Snoop Dogg was like, Joe Burrow bought the Batmobile, which he did. He's like, you could tell that guy wants good defense. And then Joe Burrow was like, smile went to a frown. Seahawks pick 18. DK Metcalf is now on the trading block. He requested a trade. Likely partners are the Patriots and the Chargers. Some other teams.
Patriots would be happy if they get
Patriots would love that. DK Metcalf, when traded, is looking for a long-term deal. Patriots got the money for it. Chargers got the money for it. Let's see what happens with him. But
do they still have Jackson Smith-Njigba and Tyler Lockett?
Tyler Lockett has been released because he's a bum now, and they have Jackson Smith-Njigba.
So nothing behind Jackson Smith-Njigba.
I'm gonna go best player on the board. Best player on the board, I think it's Ashton Genty, but I don't think they go running back. I think it's Jalen Walker. So I also really like Jahdae Campbell. He had a great combine. Let's see his RAS, 9.95. Jesus Christ, Jahdae Campbell made himself some money in the combine because he raised his stock and he's going to get picked earlier than he was before the combine. But I think the best player in this draft is Jalen Walker. Like I said, very feisty linebacker out of Georgia, projects as an edge, great football player. And I go Jalen.
You want to know something crazy?
What?
They're 24. There's a bit chance of.
Malachi Starks.
Bit of a chance.
Buccaneers.
So do they have? I have a question. Do they traded Chris Godwin or released him, right?
Well, they're really trying to sign him. Really, really trying to, because if he goes to another team, they still kind of got to pay him. And if they sign him, they actually save themselves some money, which is weird to think about, but it's just the way their contract is designed. But Chris Godwin probably doesn't want to re-sign because he'll get paid somewhere else. Like someone's going to overpay for him. So they're probably, I don't think they're going to be able to sign a deal for him.
And what about Mike Evans?
Mike Evans still there.
I think I want to go Matthew Golden because, like you said, Chris Godwin doesn't want to get re-signed. There's small chance of them getting re-signed.
What? How fast did he run the 40?
Like 4.3s, right?
4.29.
4.29.
Fastest wide receiver in the draft.
Wow, Isaiah Bond, the fraud, saying he's about to run the 4.19, bro. He ran into 4.4s.
He ran a 4.4, which is nothing to laugh at, but not a 4.19 that he was talking about. I like that pick, Zion. I like that pick a lot. Very interesting. They hit on Jalen McMillan last year in the 3rd round. Jalen McMillan had 7 touchdowns, and he really only played the second half of the season. And to add Matthew Golden, they now have a strength again at wide receiver. It's probably one of their biggest strengths. And when you think if Jalen McMillan didn't hit and Chris Godwin walked away, Mike Evans getting old, that could have been looking like a bad position group. But McMillan hit, Mike Evans still doing good, Matthew Golden drafted. I like that. Denver Broncos, right? This is the thing with the Denver Broncos. I think they go Colston Loveland. But I want the Chargers to draft Colston Loveland. So I'm going to go Ashton Genty for the Broncos. I'm going to go Ashton Genty for the Broncos. Javonte Williams is leaving. They have Audric Estime. Nothing to write home about. I think Jaleel McLaughlin is still signed under them. Nothing to write home about. They go Ashton Genty, and they immediately upgrade that running game.
The thing is, Boise State's colors are kind of like Ashton Genty, kind of like Denver Broncos colors, and I didn't even know the Denver Broncos running back was when they still had Javonte. For the Steelers now, there's a wide receiver with the burden, Emeka Egbuka. No running back. They can get a corner.
I think this is what they do.
Josh Simmons.
I think they get a cornerback to go with Joey Porter. I think they get a wide receiver, or I think they reach for a quarterback, kind of like they did with Kenny Pickett.
What's the best quarterback near?
I would say it's Jackson Dart or Murrow. Yeah. Jackson Dart or Ewers. That's his, not Milrow. Ewers. That's what I'm talking about. Milrow is also up there, but damn, Ewers is ranked 96. I think he's better than that. But yeah, it's your pick.
I honestly think it's either that but most likely Emeka Egbuka. I love him. I watched some of his tape and I love him. Still not my favorite though.
I like that pick. I wanted to see his size. 6 feet, 202 pounds. Did not do the combine.
So many people did not do the combine.
Good prospect. Chargers. Colston Loveland, man. Give the Chargers the tight end weapon that Justin Herbert needs.
Guess what?
All right, let's do it.
Want to know something? Please just pick Malachi Starks. Please.
I'm going to pick who I think is best for them.
You can get Siobhan and Revel.
Focus on the Packers, man.
You can get.
Focus on the Packers.
No, not we. I mean they.
Or the Packers?
Not we.
Are you talking about the Packers or the Vikings?
The Packers, my rival team. So I can go a cornerback, Siobhan Revel. I can go.
And to replace Jair Alexander.
I can go Luther Burden. I don't think I want to do Luther Burden.
They're looking for a number 1 wide receiver, but I don't think Luther Burden is that guy.
I can get Nick Squirtin as an edge
to team up with Luther. No, not Luther. That white edge they drafted 2 years ago. What the heck is Von
McGringle?
What? But they have one edge and they need another edge.
I think I want to go Nick Squirtin. Actually. I think Siobhan Revel.
They go edge or Revel.
Wait, did Jair? No, not Jair. Patrick Surtain leave or something?
Patrick Surtain?
Yeah.
He's on the Broncos. I'm talking about Jair Alexander.
Oh yeah, Jair Alexander.
Yeah, he's gonna probably get traded.
Yeah, I want Siobhan.
Yep, they get their new replacement. The Vikings, I think they need interior line. They could go with Josh Simmons. I think Malachi Starks.
And if Josh Simmons doesn't do good, they could just move into offensive guard.
Malachi Starks, I think, is the best player on the board. And they go Malachi Starks. Best player on the board. It fills a need.
Let's
Easy
go.
Texans. Who do you got?
I'm getting offensive line. I don't care. I'm getting Josh Simmons. Bro, one game they had 7 sacks on CJ Stroud.
I think CJ Stroud got sacked over 50 times this year, so they need anything on the line. This is an easy pick. Jahad Campbell is a beast. You see the 9.95 RES score, and he's a beast. It fills in a need for them. They re-signed Matthew Stafford, re-signed Larry Jackson. They're probably going to trade or release Cooper Kupp.
Go to the Chargers.
They're going to ride with Jordan Whittington and Puka Nacua. I think they feel okay at wide receiver. And I think they get the best player, and that also fills the need, Jahad Campbell.
Ravens. What? They really need a defense or something? So we can go. Why do they need a wide receiver?
They don't really.
We can go with
Wait, who got Tyler Warren?
Tyler Warren. You picked them.
From Colts. Okay.
I could go offensive tackle Cameron Williams. I think I want to go Cameron Williams. Him right here.
I think they go best player available. And I think they go. I think Walter Nolan is probably best player available. I think Walter Nolan is a beast, and I think they go Walter Nolan. They have Ronnie Stanley probably do it for free agency. They're trying to re-sign him. I think they re-sign him. I think they re-sign Ronnie Stanley, and I think they draft Walter Nolan. So we're gonna go Walter Nolan here. All right, Lions. Oh, that's my pick. All right, Detroit Lions. This is where it gets tough because this is where the good teams are, and it's like the players aren't that amazing here.
Wide
Who
receiver.
did they go with? Yeah, they have no depth after Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think they get some protection for Aiden Hutchinson, who's coming off injury. Nick Scorian, who's a really good player. Really good edge. Redskins, who just got Deebo Samuel. Where do the Redskins go? They're also probably going to release Jonathan Allen. Trade or release him.
Jonathan Allen's what?
He's a defensive tackle, and he's a beast. So they probably got a need there. And you got a lot of defensive tackles here available. But I wouldn't say they're pigeonholed to defensive tackle because there's so much in this draft they could get one round 2.
Oh, him. Nah, I'm joking.
You could. He's probably one of the best players available. Nick Manwari.
I want to see more people though. They do need edge. Him's up there. Corner, right, safety.
They do need more.
I actually might pick him.
They do need more juice at edge, but I don't think they're pigeonholed at edge. I think they could sign one in free agency because they have so much money.
I'm picking Nick. Wait, hold on.
Don't be surprised if Chase Young gets reunited in Washington, the team that drafted him. 10 RDS score, beast mode. And don't be surprised if they just throw a bunch of money at Chase Young and Chase Young returns because Washington has a lot of damn money available this year and they just need an edge, and I could see them like, F it. Let's just sign a guy, throw an extra $3 million at him just to make sure we get him. Bills, another interesting team. I think they would have loved to have him Manwari right here. I think they go best player available. I don't know who their center is. But I think they go Gray Zabel. Best player available. Gray Zabel.
Telly Williams. I mean, defensive tackle. What happened to Chris Jones? He's leaving or something?
Chris Jones is still there, but he's just getting older. I think they go offensive lines down. They just traded Joe Thuney. They drafted a guy last year, Samawari or something like that, who was a disaster last year. Even though he's a rookie, I think they go offensive tackle again.
No, I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm joking. I want Cameron from Texas University.
And Super Bowl winning Philadelphia Eagles, who just very loudly gave Saquon Barkley the highest paid running back contract in history. They just released Darius Slay, James Bradbury, because they hit on Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. I think Kenneth Grant is probably the best player on the board. But they have Jordan Davis and they have Jalen Carter. They don't need that.
They would love Ashton Johnson. I'm joking.
Funny. I think what makes Eagles one of the best teams in the league every year is their offensive line. The Eagles are known for their offensive line, and I think they go offensive line here. Donovan Jackson, best offensive lineman available out of Ohio State. If you take a look here, 6'3", 215 pounds. He had a really good year. Ohio State won the national championship, and he had a good year for them. And I think that's where they go. Offensive line in round one, because that's just what the Eagles do. Offensive line.
Donovan Mitchell's little cousin, Donovan Jackson.
And with that said, stop sharing screen. There goes our first mock draft together of the year, our first stream of the year. And that's all, folks. We got some things to do. Get ready for bed. Any last words, Z?
Adios, amigos.
Adios, amigos. I love it. See y'all next time. Castle Sports Talk. I'm Mr. Junior. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Good night, everybody.